What up, YouTube? It's Two Fat Guys Pull Us here. We got another juicy news cycle going on right now, and it's about X-Men.
Oh boy.
And yeah, it's got a little bit of controversy. We don't really understand why.
It always
but we're
does
gonna,
with comic books.
Right, but we're going to get into it. So, starting it off, we're going to talk about The Reign of X brings new X-Men series from Jonathan Hickman, Gerry Duggan, and more. Check out the timeline for each new X-Men launch. The Reign of X is here.
Oh boy, that's what we're in now. Dawn of X, now Reign of X.
Right.
Got it.
We're in the Reign of X now.
Listen, I have a feeling that most people don't even understand the fundamental, simple construct of what's happening here.
Right.
So I feel like I got to point it out.
No, that's okay. No, that's perfectly fine.
Reign of X.
Reign of X. We are in the Reign of X, and it is here.
Apparently.
We've been in it.
Well, if you read Children of the Atom #2, you definitely know.
Right. All right.
The latest era in writer Jonathan Hickman's revolutionary transformation of the X-Men universe is now underway, bringing with it exciting new titles, such as last month's Children of the Atom by Vita Ayala and Bernard Chang.
Mm-hmm.
Next month's Way of X by Cy Spurrier and Bob Quinn. And May's X Corp by Teenie Howard and Alberto. What did we say? Foch?
Foch.
I can't remember how we pronounced it. Anyway. And after June's highly anticipated franchise-spanning Hellfire Gala, fans can expect even more surprises, including a trio of brand new series by amazing X-Men creators such as Gerry Duggan, Leo Williams, Pepe Larraz, Valerio Schiti, and the head of X himself. The head of X himself.
You read it there right.
Jonathan Hickman.
So he is still writing X-Men.
Oh my god. All of you Facebook conspiracy theorist people that were like, I've known it from the beginning. Hickman is no longer on X books. He's just there in name. My god.
This has clearly been planned out for a while now. I mean,
I think this has been the plan from the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, there have been seeds been planted since before even. I mean, just after Ten of Swords ended, they were already starting up. We need to set up a new X-Men group, right? Whatever. So we've got Children of the Atom, which we're currently reading. We got Way of the X, which we're actually getting on Wednesday. Then X Corp, and then Hellfire Gala, and then we get Gerry's X-Men.
Yep.
Then we get Leah Williams. We get whatever book she's writing on. It's classified, so we don't know what that is. And then we get a new Jonathan Hickman book in September.
And we don't even know who the artist is.
And we don't even know who the artist is, but there is some speculation there. I think it's they just recently announced somebody's back. What's his name?
Oh, are you talking the guy that just came back from the DC?
Yeah.
John Romita Jr.
So there's a little bit of speculation that it might be him. We'll see. You never know. But Hickman is still in this X thing. He's still the head of the X office. And so all these people who are losing their shit thinking that Jonathan Hickman's been fired or he quit. He's here.
Hates it and he just doesn't want to be a part of this anymore. It's like that's not what's going on here.
No, not at all. And we've both said what we think is that, and again, this is going to sound super snooty, but Hickman's run is interconnected with everything that's going on in X-Men, whether you like that or not, whether you're not picking up certain titles because you just don't like it. His run has weight in every single one of those books, right?
For sure.
And so it does seem disconnected, but it's not if you're reading all the X-Men books, and if you like that or not, that's just the way it is. That's how they're writing it.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, right? Is that they're almost trying to create not a separate world of mutants, but you could almost say that Marvel has an imprint of just mutant books because there's so many of them.
Right.
And some people are like, oh, it's a cash grab. They're putting out shit books, and I very much disagree with that. I enjoy all the books except for one. We've had 10 different books so far, and I've enjoyed them all.
Yeah.
But if there's one criticism that I don't think people are forming their opinions in a good way, but I understand, it's the confusing nature of Jonathan Hickman's X-Men titled book versus Gerry Duggan's new X-Men titled book.
Right.
First of all, so many people are just caught up on, especially in the comic book industry. It seems like there's so many people that are just trying to make sure they're not getting screwed by the man. Marvel's just after a buck. They're just trying to screw me by getting another new number one. It's like, no, that's not what's happening here.
No.
This is a construct that Marvel's been doing for 10 years now, maybe longer, where when you get a new writer on a particular book, you restart the book at numbering. It makes it easier for new readers when they get to this point in the future, and it makes it easier for collected editions. Again, for people who are approaching this not while it's going on, because it's really easy to understand where these books sit in their current context as we read them, right? Like they're coming out every week, we pick them up, we read them. It's very easy to understand where you're supposed to read something because you just read it each week as it comes out.
Right.
That's going to be a lot more difficult when someone 10 years from now is trying to read these X books. And so restarting it, for one, helps, it helps place where this book is supposed to be in the overall scheme of things.
Yeah, for sure. And then also, and I think I said this today at work, but like, and I say this with a grain of salt. I'm not saying this is to like belittle readers, but also like Gerry is going to write a story that is more, I wouldn't say balanced, but it's more X-Men centric in the classic sense.
Well, see, and that's what I missed it, but what I was trying to say is my one criticism is I don't know if Hickman's book that just ended or is going to end after Hellfire Gala, I don't know that it should have been called X-Men.
Right.
I understand why it was. It makes sense. But that was more of like a book that was the glue to the universe. Not a lot of people are going to sit down and just read. I mean, actually, I'm sure people are, especially with the omnibus that was just announced. But it's going to feel a little disconnected if you just sit down and read Jonathan Hickman's X-Men 1 through 21,
right,
with nothing else.
Yeah.
It is very much the glue that kept the entire Dawn of X and Reign of X going. And I think that they might have realized that and decided, well, when we get the new team and we transition to Gerry taking charge of that team, why don't we actually keep it X-Men? Because so far we haven't even had a team of X-Men, right? Like the X-Men as a team, everyone uses X-Men synonymously with mutants, but they shouldn't, right? It's two totally different things. And so the X-Men as a team haven't been around since HoxPox started, since this whole Jonathan Hickman thing started. And so now that we're finally getting them, it makes sense for us to start over. We're actually getting an X-Men team who's going to go out, be part of the human world, be a mutant team within the human world, saving humans. And that's pretty much what they're doing. And then Jonathan Hickman is going to do his Moira McTaggart or whatever other glue book.
That's another video for another day. That's where we could speculate all day long. Is it going to be strictly a Krakoa book? Is it going to be the Moira McTaggart? Is it just going to be like like just the politics of the island, which I am totally interested in. That's one thing that I loved about Hickman's run is, when it first started off and it established Krakoa, we just had like Xavier and Apocalypse and Magneto just walking into the UN like bosses in suits and just being like, this is how it is. Like, either do it or we're going to stomp all over you. And I love that dynamic. And I think as Hickman's run went on, he had that, but then it started getting a little bit more and more away from that because, again, like you said, it was the glue to everything that was going on in the X titles, right? So it was trying to tether everything to everything around it. And so now that they're doing this, I think it can still do that, but he can just literally play in the sand and not have to worry about anyone not understanding why this book isn't called X-Men, right? And that's I think that's a great idea. And again, give me more X books. Like we've said that before, and now that we've even said, like I think we even said before this announcement that we wish Hickman had another book that could just kind of like he could just solely focus on, rather than like having to make sure like everybody else's ducks are in a row so that it connects into his book. And that still might be the case for this book. We don't know. As we get closer to September, we'll know what that book is. But getting into the new X-Men team, there's also controversy with who the team is. So Marvel, kind of jumped the gun on the gala and they announced who the new X-Men team is before even the gala came out. The gala issue. Understand. I don't either, and I really hope that when we do get the Hellfire Gala issue, that there's a hell of a lot more in there than just like, oh, we already read this on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure it is. But anyway, so the new team of mutant superheroes chart the course for the Reign of X and X-Men #1. And we've got Pepe Larraz back on a main title on the X-Men. It's finally all I ever wanted.
In 2 years.
Yeah, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love his covers, but I've been wanting him back in a book. And the fact that he's back on an X-Men book, hell yes. So essentially, we get the new team. Rogue is coming back to the X-Men from Excalibur, so I'm assuming she's going to leave that book, and Tini Howard will probably write that up nice and clean. We've got Cyclops and Marvel Girl, obviously. Then we have Polaris from X Factor. Yep. I was about to say X-Force. And then we have Sunfire, I believe, is the other character. And we had a little glimpse of him in Sword during the King in Black tie-ins, which I thought was freaking awesome. I know that some people aren't really hot about him being on there, but you saw what I did there. But I like that. And then we've got Sync and Wolverine, or what's her name?
Laura Kinney.
Laura Kinney. So overall, I'm very pleased with the group. I think it's going to be fun. I really do. This is probably an unpopular opinion, but I really like the fact that Rogue is back. I think Rogue belongs on the X-Men teams. I just like her as a character in general.
I actually have an even more unpopular opinion.
Okay.
Which is, I am glad to see Rogue on a team without Gambit.
Without Gambit? Okay, yeah, because I like that too.
To me, the Gambit and Rogue thing is so overplayed. I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in that relationship anymore. I feel like right now they're basically just one character. The only thing they can do is just play off of each other. And so, and I say that as a reader, I'm most familiar with like original era Rogue. Like right when she came over after her battle with Carol Danvers up into Inferno and Australian Outback storyline and stuff.
Yeah.
When she was arguably one of, if not the most powerful member on the team. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see her without Gambit.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I like that. And then I know that a lot of people are upset with Laura Kinney being on the team and not being regular Wolverine. And I'm like,
oh my God, he's in every book.
He's in every book. He has his own book. And also, like, when she got announced in that one in X-Men #5, I believe, in Hickman's run, where she went into the vault, and then we never saw her again, and I was like,
damn it.
I want more of that. And then we got her again in the last X-Men, and now she's going to be part of the team.
Issues later.
Yeah. So, like, I think
actually would have been really
smart.
Like, yeah. No, I think putting Logan in another book would have been silly. But
yeah,
I'm way more intrigued with those two, with Sync and Laura Kinney being involved after issue 19.
For sure.
Hickman's X-Men.
Yep.
I think I would have been okay with Laura Kinney, just because I know a little bit more about her, but I'm very unfamiliar with Sync, and so I just would have been like, man, that's okay, but maybe I'll get to learn them. But now this like really interesting dynamic between them, I think that'll be a really interesting subplot to this book.
For sure. And also in this image, this image has got a lot of shit going on in it. We've got velociraptors, we've got monkeys with extra arms and guns. We've got Sync, who is clearly exhibiting Marvel Girl's powers, Polaris's powers, and Cyclops' powers all at once. So we're going to get some crazy ass shit in this book. Yep. And again, I just don't understand. I don't even want to call them purists. It's just people that think that their opinion matters more than the person that's actually writing the fucking book. And it's just like, read the goddamn thing first and then see if you like it. Don't just shit on it immediately. It just seems like that's all we defend all the time, is just like, relax. It's just a comic book. Just read it and see if you like it. If you don't, then stop picking it up. That's all you got to do.
And it's to me, this is a problem that seems maybe a little bit more prevalent in comic books than some other hobby groups that I've been a part of and am a part of. But like, it's okay to not like something.
Yeah.
It's okay to not want to do anything. But I really think people just need to understand that, or not understand, but just get over trying to just convince everyone because you don't like a book. This book needs to be gone. Cancel it. Get it out of here. Just it's a piece of shit. And like then people start bad-mouthing writers and artists, and it's just like, just chill out, man.
No,
like,
you're right. And
books are fun. Let's have fun, not freak out.
Yeah, and I think in our last show you even brought it up, like, Marvel will realize what was the book we reviewed it last week. Oh, Children of the Atom. You said give the book time to breathe. And see where it goes. And if it at the end of 6 or 12 issues, Marvel's going to be like, you know what, this ain't cutting it, and they're gonna and they'll move on. I mean, they did that with Fallen Angels. It clearly didn't work, and they were like, it was a miniseries, whatever. They're not going to do it to the detriment of the Office, the X-Office, or the fans. It's
Well, I think one thing that's very apparent, at least to me, it seems this way, is the most effective way to communicate to Marvel, and I'm getting too on a tangent here. Two things. One, a lot of people that are complaining aren't picking up books every week. They're just collected edition, which is fine if that's the way you want to read. But especially some of these Facebook groups I see that are they only read in collected editions, omnis or trades or something. They're not even picking up books week per week. Marvel's not listening to you. Marvel doesn't care what you say on the internet because they're clearly not going to stop just because of what you say on the internet. They're going to do it based off of sales. And if you're not buying books every week, they're not listening to you.
Right.
And two, and then more to my point is, if you have something that you want Marvel to know, if you want Marvel to know this book is bad and I don't like this, running your mouth on the internet means nothing. Dropping the book means something. And the perfect example, and again, this is not to put down an individual, but the perfect example is Nick Spencer's Spider-Man. Nick Spencer's Spider-Man is still continuing because even though everyone's running their mouth on Twitter and Facebook, they're still picking it up every week. And when Marvel sees a book, the people that make these decisions are not looking at your Facebook posts.
No.
And so they're looking at you buying the book every week. So just, if you don't like a book, just say, oh man, it wasn't for me. These are the things I didn't like about it. Drop the book and move on.
And now you know why every video we make is always reference to Nick Spencer's Spider-Man run. We find a way to just make that connection. And I have stopped picking up that book. I'm not doing it anymore. I had enough. The last book I picked, the last book I picked up was this week, and I flipped to the back, and it literally had a preview for his next event, and I was like, the way they connected it and what they're calling it, I'm like, I'm done, right? Like, so I'm not picking it up. And that's not, again, I have nothing against Nick Spencer. I just don't like his run, so I'm just gonna say, you know what, I'm not picking up the book anymore. And we'll see what happens in August. I'm hoping there's a switch, but that's not my decision. But I am making an active decision to not read it anymore. So I'm not going to pick it up. So hopefully more and more people do that, and they say, you know what, Nick, let's go write some other character. Right.
It's old Donnie C on his dream book.
Oh God, please. Anyway, let's get back to X-Men. Anyway, I'm super excited about this. I cannot wait to talk about it in solicitations, and we get more covers and more variant covers. I am so stoked. Give me all the X books. That's how we jumped into this, or at least I, not really. We didn't. We started with something else, but we eventually saw the light of X-Men, and you just can't get any better than a Pepe Larraz book, man. Like, I'm just still so hyped about that. But anyway, that's the news. If you're upset about it, settle down, have a coffee, go read a different book, go read an independent, or, try to just read it. And then if you don't like it, then just don't say anything. Just chill, bro.
Drop it and move on.
Yeah, drop it and move on. Or go sell the rest of your X-Men and go buy something else.
There you go.
Right? Anyway, that's the news for today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. We have live shows every Friday. Give us a like, too. We have shows every Friday at 8 o'clock, and we will be doing that again for the pools for April 21st.
Yep.
So be on the lookout for our comic book haul video. Be on the lookout for our live video and any other news that might pop up during the week. And we'll see you guys later. Read some more comics.
Yep.